have to legally tell you that you're being recorded. Shit.
This damn thing.
Yeah. All right. There we go. All right. So I understand that there's some beef going on between you and Brock Larson right now.
Hold on here. Ah, I'm getting a bag. Okay. All right, go ahead.
Okay. So I understand that there's some beef going on between you and Brock Larson right now.
Yeah. There's a lot of animosity going on.
What started that?
I felt like I was betrayed. It all started. Jesse Hernandez called me out on Facebook publicly, and I told him I'd fight him. And like 2 weeks later, he backed out of the fight and said because he couldn't make weight, which is understandable. He's a bigger guy than me, bigger frame. He was sitting at 170, so it was impossible for him to get down to 135. And but it was like 2 months, I think, month and a half, or something like that. And I'm a small guy, small frame, and there's no way I was gonna put on that kind of weight. I can lose weight easily, but I can't put it on like that. So then he replaced him. Brock found a fighter. It was Logan Taylor. He told me that he it was a good match. It would be a good equally match. And I've never put on a pair of MMA gloves in my life. I've never boxed. The only thing I know is street fights. I had street fights. I've been a hockey player for 26 plus years. I've had my hockey fights. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was. And then I was trying to I asked him some questions about Logan. I was trying to get to know who he was and stuff. And he's like, oh, yeah, you ain't got nothing to worry about, and blah, blah, blah. And he never told me anything. So then I went on to Jesse Hernandez because we were all, me and Brock and Jesse were all friends on Facebook. Me and Brock are good friends. But Jesse was just on my friends list so he could see what I was saying, see my posts and that. And I went on his Facebook and I found out that him and Logan were friends and found out that Jesse was actually working with him for this fight. Well, then I'm looking at the pictures and I'm like, wow, he's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu purple belt and he's an assistant instructor for BJJ training out of Brainerd, Minnesota. I'm like, wow, I got my work cut out. And I found this out 4 days before the fight, man. And I still showed up. That just gave me more, more fire to get in there because I thought, wow, my chances aren't very good, but if I did win this fight, man, that would be huge for me,
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I do know going into every fight is it's up to the fighter to look up their opponent and everything. And it seems like you did do that, but you still took the fight. Why did you why did you continue with the fight after knowing all that stuff and then decide to complain about it after? It seems like you knew that going into the fight, you still fought, but now you're going to complain about it. Like most people would say that comes across as bitter.
I don't know if that's your connection or mine, but you're cutting out. But I did hear what you said. Well, for one, I found out 4 or 5 days before the fight. I'm not going to back out on the fight. That was my mistake for not doing my homework. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to back out on the fight. I was already on the card. The card, he was on the card. The fight was already set. And that would have been, shitty of me to back out 4 days before the fight. So I'm not like that. And I figured, I'm just going to have to stay away from him. I'm going to have to come at him, swinging. And hopefully, he'll leave himself open and I'd catch him with something. And, I have nothing bad to say about Logan. He's a damn good Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guy. And he had a game plan going into that fight and he stuck to it. And, when I came out to the ring, 700 plus people, I've never been in that situation other than in a hockey rink, and it was just all surreal. And when I was walking to the cage, my whole game plan went right out the window because I was just in awe of everything, going on around me. And, I got caught up in the hype and I got, the adrenaline was going and I don't even remember half of because everybody was like, hey, man, why'd you do this? Or, why'd you do that? And I said, to be honest with you, I don't know. because I don't even. All I remember was the first punch that I threw, and then the next thing I remember, I was, on top of him, on his stomach, on my back, and I made the mistake of, instead of putting my chin down so he couldn't get under my chin, I bridged. I spread my legs and I bridged, and I left my neck wide open, and now it's off the rope.
Yeah.
He got me in the rear naked choke.
That's the exact opposite of what you're supposed to do. I'm not trying to laugh at you. I'm just, yeah.
No, it's all good, bro. Exactly. I made a mistake, but like I said, I got caught up in the hype. Like I said, when I was walking out to the ring, my game plan went right out the window.
Yeah.
I was just so amped up about it. I couldn't believe that it was happening. But I'll tell you something. Even after everything that I found out, I was not one bit nervous about the fight. Not one bit. I thought, I've taken my shots, in hockey. Man, I've taken sticks in the face, tucks in the mouth. I'm a pretty tough guy. I can take a shot. But I told everybody. I even said it publicly on Facebook that if he gets me on the ground, I'm in trouble. So my only chance is, to try and stay away from him and pick my shots. And I came out swinging, bro. I threw the first punch, and
Okay, so
won that night.
Yes, so you ended up being submitted in 12 seconds due to rear naked choke. But let's move past that part. So after the fight, that's when all the beef started or whatever, because it started to settle in that you felt like you were set up. There were some things said on Facebook and stuff, and I was able to see a video where you went to the meet and greet, and you posted a picture of yourself or a video of yourself ripping up the autograph. Are you still that mad at Brock because of the fight?
I'm kind of upset because this was Logan's first time in the cage too. But he's been in that game since childhood. His dad is a BJJ instructor or whatever.
Okay, so what inspired you to take a fight with no training? Like you said that you've never put on a pair of MMA gloves, you've never been to a gym, but you took the fight. As respectable as that is, just because it shows a lot of heart, it shows that you believe in yourself. But
because I'm not a pussy. And I can box. I can stand up with the best of them, bro. I can.
Okay. What's your stand-up experience?
And to be honest with you, I've had a lot of street fights. I've never lost a fight. I haven't. And every fight that I fought, the guys were bigger than me. I've never taken on a guy. I'd rather take on a bigger dude than somebody my size.
So this is the first time you lost to somebody your size or smaller?
Well, somebody my size is going to be, just as much have adversity as me, agile like me, be quick like me. Them bigger guys, I'm not trying to bash anybody here, but, the more weight you got on, the more muscle you got on you, it slows you down because you got that weight behind you. You know what I mean? And I really didn't want to fight at 135. I wanted to fight at 125, and I thought Goldbrock that from day one. And, I ended up taking a fight at 135. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And at weigh-ins, I weighed in at 126 and a half the day before the fight. And when I showed up for the fight, I weighed 120, man. I cut 6.5 pounds overnight, which is crazy. But
why'd you cut weight after you weighed in? Or did you just lose that in your sleep?
No, I cut water weight.
Why'd you cut it? You're not supposed to, you already made the weight. You're not supposed to lose more weight.
Well, I wanted to because I told you I didn't want to fight at that weight because I'm a small frame guy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The more weight I have on me, the more it slows me down.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, you should have got down to that weight before you stepped into, before you weighed in instead of cutting after, it just, I don't know. Well, if it worked out, we'd be saying a different thing right now. I wouldn't even be asking you that question, So, it's one of those things.
Well, that's the inexperience.
Yeah.
That's the inexperience. I've never done this MMA thing. You know what I'm saying? So, and hey, I'm 44 years old. Brock's 2 years younger than me. I took this fight. I'm in the best shape of my life. I lost the fight, but you know what? I got my health. I'm in better shape now than I was when I was 16 playing hockey.
Okay.
I ain't got nothing to be ashamed of, man.
Yeah.
All these punks that are out there, hey, 12-second man. I'll tell you something. I lasted 12 seconds longer than any of you. I didn't see nobody else getting in there in the ring, and they're all hiding behind the screen talking shit. Oh yeah, you 12-second man, ha ha. Let me see you do what I did.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. So let's address the challenge that you gave to Brock also. You wanted them to, because you said that you stepped over into their world. You have a hockey background. You don't know any jujitsu. You say you prefer to stand and bang with people. In the challenge you issued, you wanted them to put on ice skates and meet you on the ice arena and box them there. Uh, do you think that their MMA skills would translate at all to a fight like that?
You were cutting out. Do I think what?
I'm sorry. Do you think that their MMA skills will transfer over to a boxing match on ice? Let's just call it that.
Absolutely not. Just like my boxing skills. I mean, that fight was like, what did Bonner tell? I talked to Bonner, and he said it was like a Randy Couture and I was saying that it was just like a Chuck Liddell and Horace Gracie fight. Pretty much is what it was. You know what I mean? Chuck Liddell's a boxer, whatever, and your only chance is if you catch him with a shot. You know, when you're going in there with a guy like that who's got the BJJ training behind him, and hey,
Okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of upset that I didn't last longer than 12 seconds. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah, 13 would have been a lot better.
Myself, I ain't got nothing to be ashamed of. I still got in there, and it was my own fault. I didn't do my homework until 5 days before the fight. That's nobody's fault but my own. But you know what? I still did it, man. I still got in there. I still walked down that aisle and got in that cage, and I came out swinging, bro.
Yeah, you did. Okay. I was talking to a few people on Facebook earlier. I did let them know that you agreed to do an interview with me. There were some questions that they wanted to know. One I already asked you. Why did you cut weight after you already made weight? You kind of
answered that.
Yeah, you already answered that. That was one. I'm trying to, because I didn't write the questions down. I'm like thinking back now. Okay, so
like I said, I'm a small frame guy. 1 pound makes a difference in the way I feel and the way I move.
Yeah.
Because I'm such a small frame guy. I'm only 5'6". I normally weigh 130, but after I've been lifting and stuff, I've been hanging around right about 120. And I'm a lot faster on my feet and with my hands at 120 than I am at 130. Okay? And I weighed in at 126.
Guess that makes sense.
I was at the weigh-in eating salad, man. I did a practice weigh when I first got there, and I was 124.5. Then went up to the bar, and I sat and I had a salad, and I ate 2 pounds of salad, man, because I knew this guy was going to weigh in close to 135, and I didn't want to look silly coming in at like 115, 120. So, and that didn't faze me at all. Me cutting that 6 pounds overnight did not have any effect on me whatsoever. None.
So you lost in 12 seconds. You would have lost in 12 seconds anyway, even without cutting the weight.
It depends. If I would have hit him with that shot in the ribs because he blocked it, I'm sure that would have hurt him.
Yeah.
I would have been able to get on him.
Yeah.
I posted some videos on me, and I was working on I wasn't told anything, and that's not their fault. It's my fault. I didn't do my homework. I didn't know that as an amateur you can throw elbows. I didn't, and they.
Why didn't you look up the rules?
No amateurs, no elbows, and knees only to the body. And I worked on my elbows, and I got a pretty lethal elbow. So there goes that scenario out the fucking door because that's one of the things I worked on, and I worked on my knees too.
Yeah.
But I didn't think I was going to use a knee because I didn't want to get close enough to him to use a knee because I knew if I got close enough to him and he grabbed me, he was going to take me down. I mean, I got good bounce and stuff, and if you watch that fight, the video, when he came at me, he got me, and he came in on the side, and he came right around me, and he got me from the back, and then he went down on his back and took me on top of him. He's a skilled fighter, man. He's a skilled Brazilian jiu-jitsu guy. So I have nothing bad to say about Logan. He's a good fighter, and he needs to continue to to fight in front of crowds, man, because he's gonna go somewhere with that. He's a skilled fighter.
Yeah. So you were calling out Brock for that match. Would you actually fight Brock?
You're damn right I would. I'm not afraid of nobody, dude.
I understand not being afraid, but not being afraid can get you into trouble sometimes. This guy, he has multiple UFC fights. He fought for a WEC world title, and he fought in ONE FC. That's 3 world promotions, and he was a top-ranked guy in all divisions. What you just got choked out by a kid in 12 seconds. Brock Larson is the one who taught him how to do that.
Right.
What do you think you're going to do different to him that you didn't do to your opponent?
All right, I got a question for you. Who do you think is quicker with their hands and on their feet?
Brock Larson.
Or Logan?
Brock Larson is definitely faster.
Brock?
Oh, over Logan, or you or Logan?
No, over Logan.
Logan is probably faster. He's a lot smaller, yeah.
Okay, that's a legit answer.
Yep.
So yeah, I got fast hands, and if Brock got me on the ground, yeah, you're damn right I'd be in trouble. But I'm telling you right now, I'm leaving tomorrow for Vegas, and I'm going to be training with Venom Training Camp and Stephan Bonner. I actually have another fight scheduled already in Vegas on April 26th with Real MMA.
Have you started training yet?
No, haven't.
Why are you agreeing to fights if you're not training? All right, so I do think Logan is quicker than Brock, but I think Brock is quicker than you, even with all that weight and stuff. I'm like, he's an experienced veteran.
Now that's hilarious. I'll try not to laugh about that one, dude.
You really don't. You really
quicker than me. You think Brock's quicker than me, dude?
The fact that you think you're quick.
Of me hitting that bag.
I did find the videos. I've seen them. I've seen a bunch of videos on you. I'm like, and honestly, your reaction time is horrible, even on the bag. And how am I even able to gauge your reaction time on the bag? You know,
bro, then you might need to go see an eye doctor because something ain't right there. You didn't see what I saw.
Yeah, I don't think you see straight. You might have delusions of grandeur, dude. Like you seriously are calling out Brock Larson. That dude, he's a badass, and all of his fighters are badasses. You guys are getting into arguments and stuff. I wasn't trying to get angry or anything. I hope I don't come across as angry right now, but I'm kind of confused at like some of the things that you're saying. Like you have no problem going against Brock, but you just lost to a guy that's way smaller than Brock.
Yeah, exactly. Are you not paying attention to this interview? Brock is a lot bigger and a lot slower than me and Logan.
He's a lot slower than Logan, but I don't think he's slower than you.
I chop him up, left, right. Pull like a butterfly, sting like a bee. I chop him up.
Is that?
That's it.
How many knockouts have you had?
And I'm telling you, if Brock got me on the ground, I'd be screwed because he's heavier. If he got on top of me, I'd be in trouble because I don't weigh what he weighs.
There's some people that might think that you'd be screwed if he got you in the cage, period.
Maybe. It's a 50-50 shot, dude, because if I, stayed away from him, come in, baba, get out, come in, baba, get out. No, I'm I can sprawl too. So, and before I agree, when we were talking about this interview, agreeing, and you were a whole different, your intentions on this interview was way different than it is now.
Dude, I'm being the exact same. I'm being the exact same way.
I'm gonna be a man about it and stay here and talk with you, bro.
I'm being the exact same way that I was. I was asking you all the same questions.
Oh, come on.
I was. How was I not? If you read the tone differently than the tone that I mean it, that's on you. But I'm being the exact same way. I'm asking you why do you think that you beat Brock, but you couldn't beat a 20-year-old kid?
I tell you something, you just said it too. A 20-year-old kid. I mean, he's fucking 24 years younger than me, bro. And
okay, that's fair. That is very fair.
Brock's a lot bigger than me. He's way slower than me, and I'd fuck his ass up. Plain and simple. You schedule a fight. Schedule it up. I'll do it.
And we're revoking the rules that you set in place at first with being on in the ice arena on ice skates. Is that changed? You'd fight him in the cage also?
Yeah, you're damn right I would.
Man, that's ballsy as fuck.
I wouldn't sign sign up and do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, give me 6 months and train. You're goddamn right I would. Pardon my French. But yes, I would.
Okay.
I would.
Okay, well, I don't want to ask the questions that I was told to ask you because I feel like it's getting heated already. Just because the people that wanted me to ask you the questions were being pretty rude.
Okay, well, how come Brock ain't here to ask any questions? How
Brock,
come none of them guys at his training camp could, be a part of this interview and ask the questions themselves?
well, they don't have a show.
Well, okay. I don't care. You can ask me whatever you want, and I'll give you a legit answer. So, I'll tone it down if you want me to.
No, you can say whatever you want. We're not broadcasted on TV or whatever, so you can swear and say whatever you want.
All right.
One of the questions was, were you drunk when you fought?
Was I drunk?
Yeah.
Well, if I was, it would have been off a protein shake. So, does that answer your question?
So no, you were not drunk off of alcohol.
I don't drink alcohol, bro.
Okay. Sorry. Okay, yeah. So then the next question was, how did you do that?
How did I do what?
Get your breath to smell like Brock Larson's dick.
Oh, wow.
That was seriously one of the questions. I promised him I'd ask it.
You legitly.
I
choke on small bones, bro. How do you like that answer?
I'm sorry. I promised I would ask it. I promised I would ask it. I'm sorry.
It's all good. Man, I'm cool with it.
All right. The other one was you fight at 125 and you lost 2 pounds before, or you weighed in at 135 and you lost 2 pounds after the weigh-in.
No. I weighed in at 126.5, and when I weighed before my fight, I believe I was 120.5 or something like that. So yeah, I lost 6 pounds.
Okay.
In 24 hours.
Okay, the question was, did you lose that from cutting weight, or was it the years of the meth abuse?
No, that was water weight. That wasn't meth weight. And let me tell you something, them folks up there in Brainerd, they know a lot about meth.
That's why they're accusing you of it. All right, so...
And I know where you're going with it. It's the no teeth thing. How many hockey players do you know that got teeth?
7.
I guess you guys are all fucking
I know
right?
7 hockey players that have all their teeth.
Yeah, most of them are fake.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I wasn't with them when they got it done, so I wouldn't know. But, okay, is there anything that you'd like to say before we wrap it up? Because I can't remember any other questions, but they were all bullshit questions like that pretty much.
Yeah, and I don't blame the guys for asking stupid questions like that because I talked a lot of shit. And, they're pissed off at the shit that I talk because I've said a lot of shitty stuff to them out of being pissed off at Brock. And they chose to get on my post and talk shit. So, you know what? I can talk shit with the best of them. You guys want to talk shit? Bring it. And all that shit talking, I invite it. Because that just gives me more fuel to fucking work harder and to get in there with one of them chumps.
Oh, yeah?
That's what it is. So, you know what? When I might be able to put on, I think the heaviest I've ever weighed was 142 in my entire life. But that was 142 of, the same thing Jesse Hernandez does. Sit on his fat ass and eat top potato and fucking ice cream. So, that's the 142 in me. But, dude, I'm in the best shape of my life. Like I said, I'm in better shape than I was when I was 16 years old playing high school hockey. So, bring it. Those guys want to sign up. I'll try and make the weight. But Brock ain't going to take no fight against me, man. He's too much of a pussy.
It's not because he's a pussy. It's just when you're that far ahead, you don't take steps back. You're still an amateur. He's been a pro who's fought for major organizations. The fight wouldn't go down just because you didn't earn the fight. That's somebody you have to earn the right to fight, or go up to him in the street and try to start it right there or something. But I'm like, yeah. Other than that, he's never gonna fight you. Yeah, you're right.
None of them will street fight. And I'm telling you right now, if that fight with me and Logan was behind the bar in Brainerd, I would have busted the shit out of him.
Yeah, dude. Because on paper, I'm like, if we look at the fight on paper, yeah, you're totally right because.